the Fitzy and Wippa with Kate Ritchie podcast.
How good is that? It is Fitzy and Wippa with Kate Ritchie. Welcome to the podcast. Special guest today, Dasha, is over from the States. It's unbelievable the success of this young lady. She's had 10 billion. I'm not joking. I'm not saying...
Go on, say it again.
Oh, I've stuffed that up and it's 10 million. It's 10 billion views on TikTok. There's not even 10 billion people in the world.
Man,
all her
wild.
TikTok videos, and we know her hit song Austin. She actually said to us, "Can I play Austin for you in the studio?"
Wow, love that.
I mean, we'll have a chat to her. Bit of a chuckle, bit of a chin wag, and then she'll perform for you live. That's in the podcast.
This is the Fitzy and Wippa with Kate Ritchie podcast.
One day to the weekend, one day to the Olympic Games.
Does anyone know the results of the Guinea versus New Zealand soccer match, which was 1 a.m. this morning? It was kicked off.
I missed it.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to Slovenia versus Denmark in the women's handball tonight. That's at 5 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time.
Handball?
I can confirm that Maja Zvetic is playing along with Hema Harvarten.
What?
For Slovenia.
I don't think I've ever watched the handball.
I don't know what handball is.
Well, it's a version of what you played at school.
Handball? Like against a wall or foursquare?
Handball is huge.
No, handball...
You called it foursquare or wall ball.
You've got to get it into a net. So handball is... you've got to run down the court, you pass, and you've got to get it into a net. There is a goalie there, and it is...
You're thinking of lacrosse?
No. It's very fast. It's a huge European sport.
Oh, maybe it's not what I'm thinking of then.
I must be confused. Tommy's suggesting there's no net.
No, the handball that we know is, you've got four squares on the ground.
Yeah,
you have
we
to
play it on the wall.
You can do it with two.
Yeah, you can do it with two.
But the Olympic handball has nets. You got to get it into the net. You got to throw it into the net. It's like water polo, but on land.
Okay, dry polo.
Or soccer with your hands.
Yes, land soccer polo.
Yes.
Land soccer polo. Okay.
I do love this time because the Olympics. I mean, it's 2 weeks. It's 2 weeks of glory. Okay, give me one story that pops up every 4 years, every time the Olympics are on in Australia. Give me the number one story. Do you know what it is, Vic?
Well, the number one story would be condoms supplied in the village.
That's one,
That's
yes.
one.
That's not the main one.
Saw one floating around yesterday, but I don't want to ruin your reveal. Does it have something to do with birds?
No, not with birds at all.
Remember in
one?
Korea where they lit the flame, lit the urn?
Yeah.
And it was like everything
the cauldron.
was the cauldron.
Yep.
And that's burning. And then it's the doves or the pigeons or whatever it is that they set
Got
free.
toasted.
They were toasted. I watched that on Insta.
It's a Stephen Bradbury fit.
Do you know what it is? What does Nikki Webster look like now?
Yeah.
Of course.
Every 4 years,
Of course.
that article comes out. She's now 37 years of age. She's a mother, and you'll see what she looks like now. So, well done.
Yeah, she runs dance schools now.
Yeah, she does.
She's amazing. She had her dance school on AGT.
I saw her the other day.
you?
Nikki Webster, yeah.
Flying
Tommy and I
in the
caught up with
air?
her. No, she wasn't flying, just sitting watching a show with her family.
Now, I want to read out this story because this is commitment. But I was a bit confused when I read it out because the headline was Kookaburras player Matthew Dawson amputates finger to play hockey at Paris Olympics.
What?
My first thought was, has he done that to get into the Paralympics team?
Oh, as an angle for submission.
No, but it's not, Kate. So 2 weeks ago, he suffered a horrific finger accident playing a game of hockey, and the doctor said, well, I can save your finger, right? But it's a pretty extensive surgery that I need to do, and it's going to take a while to get over. Or I could lop off the top of your finger, and you play in Paris in 2 weeks. He said, I don't need my finger, take it off.
Okay, I've got two questions for you. Which finger is it, and how do you lose your finger, or how do you injure your finger so badly in hockey that it needs to come off?
Smacked with a stick.
So it's your ring finger.
Okay.
Do you wear your ring finger on your left hand or your right hand?
Unless you're Greek. I think the Greek community wear it on the right.
So
Is
it's
that right?
it's
I
the
know
ring
that from
finger
Home and Away.
It's the ring finger on the right hand, which you don't really need the top
you
of that.
don't.
So it's from his knuckle, from his knuckle up, gone.
Jeez. And then for the rest of his life, he does the nose picking trick, where it looks like the rest of his finger is up his nostril. And unless he's a guitarist or a pianist, then mate, if you've got a chance to be in Paris to play hockey for Australia, take the finger, take my leg if you need it.
Well,
I mean, that's a bit much, but take my finger.
Dawson was advised from the surgeon that the best outcome would be to take the top of the finger off and he'd be fit to play within 10 days. Dawson said he was told that he opted for a fix. There was no guarantee that he would be able to regain full function. Despite being warned by his wife not to do anything rash, Dawson went under the knife that day.
Awesome. Didn't even call home.
What's his idea of rash?
Yeah, and then he can get home and he can do the trick where he's got the finger in the box, in the matchbox.
Oh, the matchbox.
Yeah, classic gear. Wouldn't it be great though,
From
Fitz?
the 80s.
You get home, right? And at your house, you have in a glass box, maybe on the mantelpiece, you have a gold medal and your finger taxidermied next to it.
Wouldn't that? Or could you have your finger as the hook on the wall that holds up your gold medal?
That's a great idea.
I sacrifice this for that. And it just
That
says
is-
this for that.
Or does he get a Does he get a tattoo of a finger somewhere on his body somewhere? The Olympic rings and a tattoo of his finger.
You just put the finger on a medal, like on the necklace as well. Wouldn't
okay.
you? Put a hook into the finger, like the Skyhooks album cover, for another old reference for this break.
Skyhooks.
Oh my god!
Mate, congratulations
Okay,
on the
coming up
70s.
next, Jonesy and Amanda.
This is the Fitzy and Wippa with Kate Ritchie podcast.
A very special moment here in the studio, Fitz.
And we have a superstar in the studio, and she's got a guitar with her as well, which is very exciting because she's going to perform for us. But you would know her from her hit, Austin. She's had over 10 billion views on TikTok, and she is here in Australia to chat to us. Dasha, welcome!
Hey guys, how are you?
Studio.
I mean, before we get into wild success stories that you are, let's pay some attention to that belt, man.
Oh my god.
You got a big handmade belt.
We got a big cowboy belt right here.
Have you had that back at the ranch? I mean,
yeah.
that is diamond-studded Dasha.
A lot of horses have seen this belt, I'll tell you that much.
We do love because we've just before you came into the studio, we saw you. We didn't quite know what you were doing out on the balcony, whether you were taking in the view, whether you were recording another TikTok, but we did know it was you because of the big diamond.
Because it says Dasha in huge sparkly letters.
Yeah, and Wippa was very jealous because he's also wearing a belt today.
Do you want to try mine on?
Yeah, would you mind?
Do you want to?
Could we swap
Yeah,
belts?
do you actually want to try it on?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
go
know
for
if
it.
I don't know if it's going to go around here.
I got you.
Yeah.
I mean, I got this.
Okay, yeah, maybe. I don't need to try yours on, but you can try mine on. It's all good.
That's from MJ
I
Bale.
need to try yours.
Oh, it's heavy.
It's heavy. Oh, yeah.
Dasha, what is your vice? Now that you've had a bit of success, what is your vice? Is it cowboy boots? Is it belts?
No.
What do you love buying?
My vice? Okay, honestly, I just bought my first designer bag. I bought a Louis Vuitton bag.
Oh, what, like a travel bag for the plane? Or
No,
just
it was like a little mini bag.
Yeah.
Like a little mini guy. It's in the other room. I'm obsessed with it, and I brought a pair of Gucci sunglasses yesterday because I ran into them at the store, and I said, well,
Yeah.
Because you can.
might as well.
Hey,
can never
there's
have
some
too many.
sad news. The
no.
belt doesn't fit.
What?
Yeah, kind
We
of.
don't have the same waist size?
No, I might be able to do it around my thigh, but
Okay.
besides that, we're not getting it around
You could
the
do
mid.
like an upper,
Oh,
know?
no,
Like
I
a
don't-
Santa belt
I don't think
cinch?
that'll-
Yeah, like when you
Try
wear
that.
a pencil skirt, you can wear
Exactly.
it.
Right. Okay,
No, you can use it as a tourniquet
Yeah.
if you want, Whip.
about
If
a-
your arm gets chopped off or something.
What
use
about
it
a
as
So
collar?
true.
Like I could wear it around my neck.
Oh, a collar.
Yeah, give it back.
Yes.
So heavy.
Dasha, I
Feels
want to talk
delicate.
to you about your songwriting skills. It's, it's unbelievable because I've been reading up on you. Didn't I? The song Didn't I? Is it true that you wrote that in 45 minutes as you were rushing to take shelter from a tornado in Nashville?
You're kidding.
That is 100% true.
Do you need natural disasters around you to write music? Or
I never knew, but I guess I do. Yeah.
Well, we
No.
can loan Wippa out.
I'm not a natural disaster, mate. It's just the belt didn't fit. Hey, Dasha, can you paint a picture for us? Like you talk about there's a tornado coming, and what, you're just in your room just trying to get a song out?
So I was deep in Franklin, Tennessee, which is like 45 minutes outside of Nashville.
Yeah.
And that's the direction that the tornado was coming. It was coming from like south. And I had already had a session that day with Ashley Gorley, who has the record of #1 country songs ever as a songwriter. So he's like the guy. The guy. It was our first time ever writing, and I was so excited to write with him because I'm like, he writes every song ever that's on the radio. I'm like, let's go, okay? And so we wrote this song called I'm Not This Party, which is also going to come out. And then the second session rolled through when we stayed in the studio. Ashley left, and Emily Wiseman came in. And she has been like, I had never met her, but she'd been one of my favorite songwriters since I was like 18, moved to Nashville, and I heard about this girl, Emily, who was like this iconic songwriter. And so she and I just like talked for hours. And so we had like a 4-hour time allotment to like write the song, but we talked for like 3 of them. And then we get a call from our publisher and was like, hey guys, how's the session going? And we're like, oh, we're just chatting, having a good time. And she goes, awesome, the tornado's gonna hit in an hour. You guys have to leave where you are in an hour so you don't get wrapped up in a tornado. Got it? And we're like, oh, we haven't written a song yet. And so we got our shit together and wrote, didn't I, really fast. And
awesome.
The demo you hear, I mean, that's I did a 1 pass. Literally, it was a 1 vocal pass.
What a great TV show that would be, where we get like big artists. So we get you, Dasha, we get Swifty, we get Ed Sheeran, right?
Then you get a tsunami.
Then you get a natural disaster.
Tsunami.
Yeah,
natural disaster. Yep.
And we've got a ticking clock, and you've got to write the best song in that time.
I mean,
That would be good viewing.
But I'm sure working under pressure is sometimes the way to do it, because I think, I mean, I don't know, you've got too much time, you can start overthinking
exactly.
things.
Agreed.
Yeah, we didn't have time to second guess our concept or the chords we were using. It's like, cool, that's what we're going for.
Hey, amazing too, timing wise, that country music, you know, especially here in Australia. I mean, I know it's always been massive in the US, but country music has taken off everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, it's exploded.
It's so cool.
Timing is perfect. I mean, we launched Nova Country the other day because there's such demand for so much great country music.
Yeah.
So well done. What
Thanks.
a sweet spot. Like, it's exploding.
It's really cool to be, because I felt that cultural difference of in country becoming kind of wider and like more people wanting to sink their teeth into country. And it was cool because that kind of happened a few months ago, right when Austin was blowing up. And it was cool because Austin is such a country song but also such a pop song at the same time.
Yep.
And so I think it was the perfect like flag of that whole movement, because I'm like, it can be kind of whatever you want it to be, which is cool.
When you're talking about blowing up with Austin, right, were you getting phone calls every day saying, Dasha, it's gone to another level.
Yeah.
Like, it just keeps growing and growing. Like, what were you getting informed?
So when Austin was blowing up, I was completely independent. I wasn't with Warner yet. And so it was me, my manager, my 2 publicists, and these 2 like independent label guys I was working with. And we were all like besties. Like, that was the team. And so we were in this one group chat just like every day, sending new things, new articles, new stats. And we were all like stalking Spotify for artists, being like,
Different
3 million
countries?
a day right now? Like, what is going on? Because that was all like, it was completely independent, and that does not happen. That does not happen for independent people.
As it turns out, it does.
Turns out.
Dasha, you do have the guitar here, which is great news. There is a tornado coming, so we need to get into
Oh my God, and I have to play a song.
Please put your belt back on.
Yeah.
You can't do this without
Thank
your
you.
belt.
Thank you for trying to share the belt with me.
It's okay.
We'll do some boot scooting
Maybe
after
next
this.
time.
Yeah, I can ride a horse. I love Yellowstone. Okay, you're going to perform Austin on guitar here in the studio.
I sure am.
All right, over to you, Dasha.
Okay, guys, this one's called Austin.
We had a plan, move out of this town, baby, west to the sand. It's all we talked about lately. I packed the car, bring your guitar and Jane for smoking. First thing it's on, you cute songs and we get going. But you weren't home, I waited on the porch for you, sat there alone. All throughout the morning too, got a hunch down in my gut, snuggle around the back, and empty cans and I'll be damned, your shit was never packed. Did your boot stop working? Did your truck break down? Did you burn through money? Did your ex find out? Where there's a will, then there's a way. I'm damn sure you lost it. Didn't even say goodbye to wish you knew what cost. Was the whiskey flowing? Were you in? fight? Did the nurse come get you? What's your alibi? And I made my way back to LA, and that's where you'll be forgotten. In 40 years you'll still be here, drunk, washed up in Austin. Love, you had me believing. How many months did you plan on leaving? What happened? Bad habits. Did you go back shit? I loved you, how tragic. Oh, did your boots stop working? Did your truck break down? Did you burn through money? Did your ex find out? Where there's a will, then there's a way. Now I'm damn sure you lost it. Didn't even say goodbye, just wish you knew what cost. Was the whiskey flowing? Were you in a fight? Did the nurse come get you? What's your alibi? And I made my way back to LA, and that's where you'll be forgotten. And 40 years you'll still be here, drunk, washed up in Austin. But did your truck break down? Ooh, did your ex find out? 'Cause in 40 years you'll still be here, drunk, washed up in Austin.
Wow, there
Thank
it
you,
is.
guys. Thank you.
There it is,
Oh my God.
live for your Thursday morning Dasha on acoustic. That was special.
Thank you. I just whipped
You're a
that out just
superstar.
now. Yeah.
So you told us before you came in. You've got a one day in New Zealand and then you're back home. It's just bang, bang, bang. You're
Yeah,
done.
it's been a little chaotic because I missed my flight too out here, so that chopped a day off.
Okay.
Oh, it did.
Sure.
So when you come
Yeah.
back, and you come back to see us again, of course,
Of
and
course.
you're going to come back in the warmer months,
Mm-hmm.
hopefully. What do you want to do? Where can we take you?
I want to go to Bondi.
Yeah.
And I want to go in the harbor, and I want to go walk across the bridge.
Done.
And do you guys have good sushi out here?
Yeah, we got great sushi.
Really?
Yeah, we can sort that
I'm gonna
out.
hit that before the airport because
Okay.
I love good sushi.
Okay, Tommy, next time Dasha's in town, can we organise for
Let's
one...
have a sushi party.
Yeah, let's have a sushi party on the harbour, and we can all wear
boat.
nothing but those belts.
Just
Can we-
belts and boots and bikinis.
Yes, that's it.
Oh my
Tommy,
God,
I'm
that's
ready.
cute. I love a theme party.
Do you
Tommy,
ready,
can we
Kate?
get a
No,
fitzy?
I
Can
better
we get
get
a
to the
fitzy
gym.
whipper?
She goes, nar.
Can we get a fitzy and whipper with Kate?
Do you want budgie smugglers fits?
No, I was going to say a fitzy and whipper with Kate Ritchie diamond encrusted belt next time. That's from his bag.
Love that.
Purr.
Yes.
We love purr. Purr girlfriend.
Go on, Kate.
No.
What?
No.
You worried,
No.
you worried about the harbour party?
I'm worried about
One thing about me is I whenever I hear an accent, I've been struggling so hard this whole trip because I have to do it back.
Yeah.
I have to. I gotta.
Yeah.
I gotta.
You
I
just
got it,
did,
mate.
and I was loving you up until that moment.
And
Dasha,
now you can leave.
You've got to go to New Zealand. Thank you for coming in. We can't wait to see you next time. Congratulations.
Thanks for having me, you guys. We'll see you next time.
Good to see you, mate.
The Fitzy and Wippa with Kate Ritchie podcast.
What's going on, Kate Ritchie?
Well, I want to talk about food.
Hello.
Hello, you're with me. There's nothing better, I suppose, than to create a queue out the front of your restaurant just to garner a bit of what is going on in there.
What's everyone lining up for?
Well, I was reading overnight, and I don't think this is necessarily a new thing because one of these stores did pop up in Noosa, and I know that I took my daughter there maybe 12 months ago, and I think it's called the Yochi.
Yochi, yeah.
Oh, the yogurt bars.
Yeah,
Okay,
they do
yeah.
acai, they do yogurt, they do different toppings and things.
Do you mix and match, do you?
Yeah,
Can
well,
you put in...
you have to line up, and then you get to choose your frozen yogurt of whatever, whether you like a deluxe chocolate or a banana or vanilla.
Go on.
And then you go to the bar, a bit like Cold Rock, for example.
Yeah, gotcha.
And you add all the bits and pieces.
Little M&Ms.
Peanut M&Ms? Peanut M&Ms,
You can
eh?
do all that, but they also have fruit, like they have raspberry coolie.
Okay. It's big in China, isn't it?
My mouth.
Yes. I mean, huge Asian market, I have to say.
And if it's on Hastings Street in Noosa, it'd be cheap as well.
It's so cheap buying a yochi.
We tried to go there the other day.
After your $35 fish and chips every day.
We went down to Bondi because there's a yogurt place down there where we go, and the kids had said there's a yochi that's opened in Bondi.
Oh, has it?
Yeah, and then we went down there and I googled and it didn't say anything, so there wasn't a yochi in Bondi. Then we saw another kid carrying a yochi tub, and we went, oh my god, there is a yochi here in Bondi, but it's not online yet.
Did you ask the kid?
No, because we'd already got our other yogurt from the yogurt place.
I think you get arrested if you chase a kid around Bondi who's eating frozen.
I got him in a headlock, stole it from him, and said, "Where did you get that yochi from?"
There's one in Surrey Hills because my daughter really wanted to go, but it was a Saturday night, and I'm thinking frozen yogurt isn't going to be massive in Surrey Hills on a Saturday night. Maybe the nightclubs.
Yeah, sure.
But the line was out the door, and I don't want to be snobby. I think obviously something's really good if people have to queue for it. But I think I've only ever lined up for. Well, no, I don't think I ever lined up for a nightclub, guys. But if you're not lining up at the post office, it can't be that great. Like, come back another time when there aren't as many people.
I think what happens is these food trends become a status. So people want to be able to go, Saturday night out, selfie shot with the yochi.
Yeah, absolutely.
And know that all their friends are going to go, oh, no way, you got
Great
yochi.
Yeah.
Did you line up? Oh, we're at the clock around the corner.
It's In-N-Out Burger.
Yeah,
and
it
you
is.
know what?
It is.
And they've done so well because In-N-Out Burger go, well, we're only in these certain areas because we're fresh. And if we go out any further, where our warehouse is, the food isn't fresh.
Right.
It takes too long to get anywhere else. And everyone goes, oh, my God. Wow. I mean, they're good burgers. Yeah, they're okay. But they don't rock your brain.
No, they're not as good as McDonald's.
Oh, well.
They're not. And you know what? These people, Yochi, In-N-Out Burger, they're masters of hype.
That's what I was going to say.
Their craft is selling hype.
Yeah, perfect word.
And they
for
make
it.
a burger and they make an acai bowl with a couple of toppings, but it's the height and the status symbol of that. Like, oh my God, LA In-N-Out Burger,
Is that
animal
size?
style.
That size still going. That's a superfood for a while, wasn't it?
Yeah,
We
it
were talking
was.
about kale and wheatgrass shots yesterday.
I always get confused, though, how to pronounce
I don't know
acai.
either. I get it wrong.
It always feels like I'm
Ordering
ordering
a beer.
two Acais in the morning.
Can I get an acai, please, with a side of granola? Oh my God,
They're
she's
like,
still on it.
Kate.
Can I get some
Come on.
Birchler muesli and some acai beer, please?
The Fitzy and Wippa with Kate Ritchie podcast.
Let's talk about this fight pre-wedding. Bride versus bridesmaid. The bride has sat down with her best friend and said, would that be the maid of honour? And said, hey, you know what's going to be so special? I've chosen a beautiful song that I want to walk down the aisle to, and we're going to celebrate, and that song is Lover by Taylor Swift. Always a big decision. What music do we go with for the wedding, guys? Whether it's down the aisle or the waltz, whatever you want to do, there's often that special song, and she said, I want it to be Lover.
Fair enough.
Great song, we all know that one. In fact, that was our slow waltz song for the singles ball.
It was
We
too.
had a bit of a dance, didn't we? We rocked back and forth.
Quite successful. I think there was quite a few couples that hit it off.
There was a couple on the night that are already taken off by this stage, I think, Fitz. Not to mention the friend you've got. Have we got an update on those two?
Yeah, they're still seeing each
Are
other.
they?
Yep. They're still seeing each other, which is great news, and that's what it's all about.
We need another singles ball. Love it. Anyway, the friend has said, no. I have to stop you there. You can't go with that song. It would be insensitive to Taylor Swift to play that song because it was on her denial playlist, which basically meant whatever she wrote it about at the time doesn't stand today. So she's in denial about what that song was about. And she said, it's not what you thought it was about, it's not about that. So it would be far too insensitive to do that to Taylor.
Well, it doesn't matter I suppose you don't look at it like that, do you? It's what it means to you.
The 5 playlists for Taylor Swift represent different emotional components of a breakup, and this one was a terrible time.
Oh, gosh.
How does a friend honestly sit there and say to a bride who's, if Fitz, you've been through this, you've planned a wedding, so much goes into it, and so much decision is based around the song and how you're going to work on that song, and the friend says it's insensitive to Taylor Swift. Hey, friend, why don't you go off in your wildest dreams, that's Italian, guys, and shake it up a little bit, because that's a stinker. Get out or get in. Don't tell me about Taylor Swift's emotions when I'm about to walk down the aisle, best friend.
I don't know. Do you call them Taylor Swift cookers? I think they're cookers, aren't they?
Swift cookers?
They're Swift cookers. They're
Well, they've completely lost the plot.
They're people who come up with theories about Taylor Swift all the time and so consumed by the Swift.
Ever heard the Educate podcast? I've never heard. They're up there with you're right, Fitz. They are cookers. They're up there with the flat earth.
It should be Lizzie, Jess, and Kate Ritchie.
Yeah, they're mental.
The 3 cookers talking about Taylor Swift.
Educooked.
Taylor cookers. What is, Jess, give me this.
Yeah.
What is the most out there theory that you've heard about Taylor Swift or about the understanding of one of her songs?
Oh, I could go down a huge rabbit hole. Okay. Every song she's ever released, I don't think has ever been about the person she has claimed it has been. And I've got mountains and mountains of evidence on a PowerPoint. So I cannot wait to take you through at 9:15.
If you were best friends with this girl and she said, hey, we've found this great song, Lover, how would that sit with you, mate? You'd be cooking
that is
up something.
Unhinged on another level. I'm not going to ruin someone's wedding, but I would be looking down on her. Very high horse.
I'm so glad the Swift tsunami has passed because, you were neglecting your son Harry there for a while, Jess.
That's scarily accurate. Very much so.
So many theories just going around that people were just neglecting all other people in their lives. Tommy, now we can move on.
I don't think Harry has heard a song that isn't Taylor Swift, to be honest.
He's stuffed. Tommy, I don't know if I'm allowed to do this.
I don't have tickets to give away to Taylor Swift.
Hold tight. Let's talk about Taylor Swift's last show of her Eras tour. Where is it?
Canada.
Yeah, Canada. And early December.
Oh.
End of an era, you could say, guys.
Well done, Jess.
About time you got some tickets for that one. Very good.
Tommy, imagine if we did our last show from Canada and we took listeners over.
Oh, I'm away.
If it's his book Fiji again.
Oh, you're in Fiji. You're at the Intercontinental again.
I'm so sorry.
Something to work on, Tommy. Get on to
Nice thoughts.
I'm helping to make a move.
This is the Fitzy and Wippa with Kate Ritchie podcast.
The cost of living, as we have spoken about a lot on this show. Do you know a stat I heard this morning? That with the average wage here in Sydney, we'll call it Australia if you want. Why don't we round it up? Let's call it Australia. The average wage in Australia and the average housing cost means that you would need to save for 46 years for a deposit to buy the average house here. I'm going to bring it back in Sydney. 46 years
just for the deposit.
Just for the deposit on the average priced house here in Sydney.
That's hopeful, isn't it?
You're not saving much, though, are you? You could save a bit more, couldn't you?
Well, that's what they're saying with the average wage. If you're putting X amount or whatever's recommended as your average money aside
every week after you find the money to pay for everything else. The problem is too
when you have when you know you're meant to be saving, but you have such a long runway. If someone was to suggest you need to be saving for 46 years, you kind of throw the towel in, don't you? So the savings don't really exist because you're thinking, what's the point anyway? I'm a lifelong renter.
Yeah, I'm going to prioritise other things because that seems unattainable.
Yeah, and that's not an issue. You can rent for your entire life. Go for it. It doesn't really matter. But the whole Aussie dream, and they say that only 25% of people in a couple of years' time will be living in houses that have the picket fence in the backyard. Like the backyard is becoming a dying option for Aussies to bring up a family. And that's the hardest part.
And picket fences, there's not many companies that do picket fences anymore. That's a dying breed.
Well, pine, just your basic pine. You'd need to paint it well.
Paint it white with a crab apple in the front tree, in the front yard. That's what we had in Campbelltown.
Did you?
But that's what ruins you.
But that was your
Disney
dream, wasn't it?
movies and growing up in a 5-row house in Chamberlain Street, because that's kind of what you want: a patio and a lawn that you can water.
And asbestos.
Yes.
And a bit of lead in the backyard. It's sounding a lot like the castle, isn't it? But you know what? I mean, there's a lot to that, in that back then, that was the castle and that was the dream. And to come home to that picket fence and your crab apple, well, that was the best thing in the world. And you couldn't ask for anything else or anything more. But now, everyone's stuffed.
Where's this going? Because it
Great
feels
question.
quite sad.
It does, sorry. Let me put it to you this way. There's a 28-year-old girl, and she's come out and she said, because of the crisis, I'm going to need to couple up in the hope of finding some accommodation to live. She's been renting for a very long time. Rent's about to go up $50 in the next month. So she said the only way forward is to find somebody to be in a relationship with or share a bed with. That's how I have to do it now. Because without that, then I don't get the life. So it's a bit of a burrito coming back up. Yeah. Let's not worry too much about the sound effect from the internal burp I just did.
Sorry. We'll integrate a fajita into the break.
Disgusting.
Oh, my God.
Rent's going up. And so's me breakfast.
Better than going out, if you know what I mean. Anything could have happened in here, Kate Ritchie.
Okay, so she needs to share a bed, hopefully not with you, because you can't keep your insides in.
Could you imagine that moment, though, of going, okay, well, you seem nice enough. You appear like a clean individual. Yeah, I'll share a bed with you. I don't know you. But I suppose I'm going to have to...
No, you don't have to, mate. You don't have to.
So you would...
I do think people consider the fact that they need to maybe, I want to find someone for love, but I also think I need to... life may be better if I can do it in a team.
Yep.
Remember years ago there was that trend of groups of people putting all of their money in. There was this wave of if none of us can afford to buy a house on our own. But if 3 couples do,
Yep.
then perhaps it may be an option.
And it was foolproof. Like nothing would go wrong when you went in. When you go in with 6 other friends into a house, it is a perfect world and nothing ever happens.
I mean, it does make sense because marriages work well, and there's only 2 in that. So let's throw another 4 people in there just to mix it up and keep it spicy.
A mate of mine, Alex, lived with a girl who was a friend, right? So they moved in and they were renting.
Okay.
Then decided to buy a house together because they thought that would be the only way to do it because they couldn't afford it individually.
Yeah.
And they then fell in love. So they now have the house and they got 2 kids.
Are they still in love?
They're still together.
Yeah, it's 2 very different things.
That's a success story.
They're still in the house, guys.
That's one that's very few.
Oh, I'd celebrate with a burp over that.
This is the Fitzy and Wippa with Kate Ritchie podcast.
Only one sleep till the Olympics. That's
Countdown.
pretty exciting. Do you remember watching the Spice Girls? Because I do at the 2012 London Olympics.
Massive.
Well, I never thought that Baby Spice was that quick, but for her to get through to the semis of the 100, I thought that's an amazing effort.
In the relay.
Especially in those shoes, those huge shoes that they wear.
Iconically British. I mean, it made sense to have the Spice Girls there. And then after that, of course, there was the reunion. They didn't do it with Posh, of course, Victoria.
She wasn't there, was she?
Well, she was around. She hangs around, and I think that they are all still very social, even if they've had their ups and downs. But she doesn't need to do that. She has an incredible beauty brand, fashion brand, and a very wealthy husband.
An article I read a while ago used to say that they hated touring with Baby Spice because she would use the bathroom, number 2s, and leave the door open.
You just made that whole thing up.
How would I have just made that up?
Because that's the kind of thing you say.
Why would I sit here and think, how can I contribute to this broadcast moment? I'm gonna think and make up a quick story about Baby Spice.
Because it always revolves around toilet humour. I thought you'd quite like this bit of goss around Baby Spice because it involves the tax man.
What's that got to do with me?
Well, you like to chat kind of money and business and all of that stuff.
All the accounts are offshore.
Are they?
This trivia really interests you. you. So they got back together. She obviously formed a company to handle the earnings of their reunion. She made around $8 million or something.
Oh my God!
For getting
For a reunion.
But yeah, getting back together briefly. They're the Spice Girls. They were at the 2012 Olympics.
You told us that.
I just told you that.
Yeah, it's a lot for a reunion.
She paid her tax bill of $2 million. Shut down the company. I don't know how any of this works.
Yep.
And according to the Sun, who only report
Facts.
the facts, they're continuing to chase her for a bit of cash. But I would imagine she'd have. I mean,
Are you saying she didn't pay the tax and shut the company down?
she paid some tax, and they're saying there's
Dodged
left.
it.
There's I'm not saying that.
Sounds like you are.
Other people are saying that.
Sounds like what I said about her on the toilet was quite innocent compared to what you're suggesting.
Oh, gosh.
Thank God I contributed. I made up the toilet bit.
They'll make an example of her as well. This is the thing. If you are well known and you have a crack at the tax department, they're coming down hard.
I reckon.
And
But don't go after Baby Spice of all
you
the
don't.
Spices.
Yeah.
She's
Got the
still
ginger.
a baby.
Do you know
That is not a
she's-
successful reunion.
It's an expensive reunion. Do you know?
No. Are you going to tell an honest story?
Nah, I'm going to make one up, mate.
Fake news?
Going to sit here and make one up for the Sun.
Here we go.
Gary
Trumpy over here, fake news.
Gary Barlow has been attacked over the years by the taxman. I think there should be a bit of flexibility on artists.
Who's the worst? Didn't Wesley Snipes went to jail for his tax bill, didn't he? Yeah, Blade.
Snipesy?
Yeah,
Hopefully
he
he
did.
had his sword in jail because they would have been.
But did he just not decide to pay any tax?
No. Who's the other big? There was a socket. No, Shakira got done for a tax
Yes.
Quite. She went to prison too, didn't she?
Yeah, and you know what they hated about her in prison? She would do number twos with no door.
Oh my!
It was even
gosh.
worse.
Kids don't have there aren't
Tom,
doors in prison.
That's
Are
why
there
I
on the
thought I
toilets?
just said.
Tom, when we get to this point, mate, I'm out.
Yeah.
I think
You're
we
out?
should. I think we should finish the show
All
for
right,
the day.
I'm going to follow your lead. I'm coming with you, Fitz.
Can I come, guys? It's just
right.
me. Hey,
You can leave the studio, but please don't follow me up the hallway.
can I come?
Fitzy and Wippa with Kate Ritchie is a Nova podcast. For more great shows like this, download the Nova Player via the App Store or Google Play.
The Nova Player.